Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of First Person, as always sponsored by the Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. Generations of service and stewardship to that county community of New Bremen and Minster. Great place to work. We talk about them all the time. They're always looking for good people. Start or finish your career there. Check them out, give them a call, or see them online. The address is scrolling across the bottom of First Person for 3 years running, and we appreciate that. Sponsors of First Person here on Press Pros Magazine. Carla Siegel is our guest this week. The girls basketball coach at Fort Loramie. I love talking with you. We've done this 3 or 4 times over the course of the career of First Person, maybe not for a couple of years, but I like talking with you because you're a straight shooter. I'm a straight shooter, and I want to talk about the elephant in the room a little bit this week, and that is the fact that you guys are off to a fantastic start. You're probably the most compelling story in area basketball, not only for the fact of being 12-0, but the way you're 12-0. So congratulations on that, and Happy New Year.
Well, thank you. I always enjoy being interviewed by you, so this is wonderful, and thank you for all the compliments. Have a pretty solid team, starting with the top all the way through. You know, they work hard every day in practice, and they do what we ask, and they're a fun group to be around.
And a stress-free group. I mean, you're averaging beating people at 12-0 by 50.2 points a game. I just checked that out. And as we said, we talked about 3 weeks ago. And I intimated to you at the time, you didn't take the bait, but I said at the time there's 2 ways you beat people, either by scheme or philosophy or just by athletic domination. And you guys, you talked about it then, given your depth and the overall quality of the athletes in your program, you're leaving very little to the imagination.
Yeah, the athleticism of this group is immeasurable. All of them, they're so athletic, and they do what we ask, and we're doing things this year with a team that we've never done things before, because they are so in tune with one another on the court. And we always talk about team chemistry. You know me, team chemistry is a big thing, and this team has it. They genuinely care about each other, and they just want to do well, and they cheer for each other. They want everybody to do well, and they don't care who's scoring the points and who's getting the rebounds, and they just, you know, you can watch the bench during games, and they're hooping and hollering when somebody makes a basket or makes a great play, and it's just, you don't see that every year, and so to be a part of that, I think for me is just surreal, and I just have to embrace it and encourage it and let it flow.
That's the kumbaya part of your story. The real issue with me, and the impressive part, is the depth that you have. And we talked about that a month ago, where you can legitimately play 11 or 12.
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
Who has that kind of depth?
We haven't seen anybody yet, you know, and I think, you know, we played some really good teams this year. I think people look at our scores and they're thinking that we're not playing anybody, but we are playing good teams, and a couple teams, you know, it's close in the first quarter, it's close to start the second quarter, and then the separation starts because of the wearing out. You know, we're playing 10, 11 deep.
Pressure defense.
They're playing 7 or 8, and so at the end of the second quarter, it starts to go. The third quarter, they come out and they try to, you know, recoup, and then by the end of the third quarter, they're exhausted, and we're not. And so then the fourth quarter, you know, we can finish it. But there's good basketball in this area, and I think people look at our scores and they're not understanding what's taking place.
Before we move on, people ask me all the time, you see Loramie play, why are they so consistently good? I've never heard these 2 words invoked. I'll do them here. Phil Barhorst. He's kind of a foundation layer, your JV coach, and he has, I mean, these girls, the first vestige they have for Loramie basketball is through your JV program.
Correct. Phil does an excellent job, and we can even go a step further and go down to my junior high coaches. And there's building blocks all the way up. It's not all me, and I think people need to know that, and I think most people understand that. But Phil does a great job, and our practices are ran side by side, and the first 45 minutes of practice is all fundamentals, and he's doing exactly what we're doing with our team, just at a different level. And then the last half hour practice, you know, he's allowed to do what he wants to do with his team and work on his schematic things, and we're working with our things. But our practices are side by side. We're doing the exact same things. So there's a lot of continuity from the JV program to the varsity program, and that helps me out a ton.
Carla Siegel is our guest this week on First Person, the head coach, girls basketball coach at Fort Loramie. Let's talk a little bit about, we talked about the elephant in the room. You're halfway through your season, And as you say, there's some good basketball teams that you've beaten. However, I'm not sure you've really been challenged outside of your opening. The game with Minster was one everybody pointed to, not only because it's the defending state champion, but it's the first game on your schedule, and you calmly went out and beat them at 30. Since that time, it doesn't look like you have been challenged. Now, albeit, I know you're going to Berlin Highland this weekend. You're going to see some different faces, some different color uniforms there. Tell me what you expect out of that.
Well, the team that we're playing in Loudonville is a very good team. I think they're very tall and athletic like we are. I think, the advantage that we have would be our depth again. I don't think they're as deep as we are. But I'm hoping that our girls get to see something different, and it's a tournament atmosphere. You're on a different court, you're traveling, we're going to be spending the night in the hotel room. So there are some adversities that, our team has not had to deal with, not sleeping in their own beds and things like that. So I think it's a good experience for our girls. They need it, and we need to play somebody different, and we need to be challenged, and I do believe we will be challenged on Saturday.
The inevitable, and let's just talk, let's get it out of the way. Everybody here is expecting that showdown or that confrontation with Tri-Village.
Correct.
A really good basketball program there. Coach Gray does a superb job. Basketball, there's a culture there, which is so important, as you know. And I know you have a lot of respect for that, and it's inevitable someplace down the line, I guess maybe at the regional, probably at the regional level, you're going to see Tri-Village, and I know you like a challenge. I know you're looking forward to the kind of things like that, but tell us a little bit about what sits between you and the end of the season.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't like talking about that stuff in advance, but he knows it. But I will answer his question. Brad Gray, he and I think we have met against each other head to head 6 times over the last 10 years. I have the utmost respect for what he's done with this program. Tri-Village girls basketball is definitely a state contender every year. He does a wonderful job, and I have not seen them play yet this year. I will see them at Berlin, and but I've heard through the grapevine what everybody else is hearing. He's got some really phenomenal athletes. I think his bench is probably a little bit deeper this year than what he's had in the past. So that will be a huge game when it comes, and we will be prepared. We'll do the best we can. It's all about strategy and puzzle piecing and putting things together. So I will look forward to that game.
The reason it's good to talk to at this particular point is the fact that it lends so much anticipation. It's good for girls basketball. It's good for basketball in general to have something like that to look forward to. It's like the match race and horse racing that I wrote about a few weeks ago. There has always been that anticipation, what if A meets B?
Right.
And, right now in basketball this year, that's a little bit lacking, that confrontation between two powerhouses like that are inevitably going to meet, and people like that.
Right. I agree. I think it's, like you said, it's good for girls basketball. Absolutely, 100%. It's good, and we'll see what happens when that day arrives. So,
Carla, as you said, it's always fun to sit down and talk with you. I mean, I admire your program. I admire what you do, and people, if you have not seen the Loramie girls play yet, they shoot it well, they defend well, they pass it well, they play basketball the right way, and I think with a lot of character, and that certainly is symbolic of what you bring to the table. So
I appreciate those kind words, but my team is special. They're just a great group, and you do need to come see them play.
Best of luck. Stay healthy. That helps.
It does.
That helps.
Thank you.
That wraps up this edition of First Person with Carla Siegel. Again, sponsored by the Precision Strip Company in Minster. Great place to start or finish a career. They're always looking for good people. Check them out. For Coach Siegel and our sponsors and all the people out there who support what we do every week on PressProsMagazine.com, we could not appreciate it more. Off to a great start here in the new year. We wish you New Year's greetings as well, and we'll see you next time with another edition of First Person.